MNC Hoops fan, what's going on? It's CJ. I'm here to recap the Dallas Mavericks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dallas Mavericks advancing to the NBA Finals in 5 games. Game 5 last night was just a dominant performance by the Dallas Mavericks. At one point they were up by 30, I think by like 34 or 35. Out the gate, Luka Doncic came out, made a statement, 20 points in like 8 minutes. They had no answer for him. You would think after the win the Timberwolves had in game 4, the energy, not a complete shift, but it would at least be on a similar level because they got a W on the road. Now you're going back home, home crowd, role players usually play well at home. You think they would play much more inspired to start the game, and that just wasn't the case. Luka and Kyrie and the Mavericks, they had other plans. Derek Lively coming back into this game. I said this earlier. I said this last week on the episode with Michael. Lively could be, I think he's going to be a top 10 center going forward for the rest of his career. High IQ already as a rookie. There's not a lot of centers that could be able to get that basketball off the short roll and not only be able to go to the basket in a couple dribbles, but also make a play make. Because it's still 2 people on one ball. It's still 2 on one guy. So once that center gets the ball, somebody's wide open. So it's up to that player on the perimeter to lift and either go from the corner to the hash, depending on the spacing. And Lively hits the open man. He did that a couple times, gave it to Kyrie after setting the screen for Luka. It's just wide open shots, easy offense to where you don't have to dribble all the time. Yes, of course, they could do all that because Doncic and Irving are gifted, but that's such an easy play. Those are spot up plays, and it sets everybody else up. And that's why they were successful in the series. First 3 games, Minnesota just had the inability to close. They were in those games. Things were close. They had the leads at some points late into the fourth quarter, but Dallas had the better players. They had the 2 best players. I picked Dallas in 7. I didn't think it'd be in 5, but I knew when you rank the players in the series, Luka and Kyrie are the 2 best players in the series, automatically. Anthony Edwards is special. Had a great playoff run. He's 22 years old. It's not like this is the end or anything like that. This is really just the beginning. So I can't wait to see how his career continues to progress going forward. Got to the Western Conference Finals. They had a great regular season. This was the first year where Edwards, Gobert, and Towns really played together. So people are kind of questioning what they should do with the team. This was their first year together, and they got to the Western Conference Finals. I think you need to run that back, see what you could do, grow, add a couple pieces here and there. But they just got outmatched with the team that has 2 of the most special players we've ever seen offensively. There's just 0 offensive weaknesses from either player. It's rare when you see 2 guys like that on one team that don't have a weakness on offense. Kyrie's passing is very underrated. People sleep on Kyrie's passing. Remember, it might have been game 2 when he was falling down and he got the basketball and like he was going up and it looked like he was about to drop it or mishandle it, and he just threw it up to Lively and just dunked it. It's like, just the IQ like that that's something you really can't account for if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's just gifted, just too gifted. And Luka, I see people on TV they're trying to compare him. Who does he compare to? I think he's a combination of a few players. For me, I see Dirk. Obviously, it's not even just because they both played it for the Mavericks, but just how he doesn't get sped up. He's not the most athletic guy, but he can always get to his spots. That's really what Dirk was doing, especially late into his career. We know that run that he had in 2011 with the Dallas Mavericks and to winning that championship. I see a lot of Dirk. I see LeBron with the vision, the height to be able to see everything. Clutch factor. I see some Jordan as well, the mid-range, turnaround, spin, fadeaways. I see Harden. He's a combination of a lot of players with the step-back threes. He's Melo just because of the strength. People sleep on him. Melo was strong. especially Denver, New York days. Just no one was able to stop him in the post. And that's the same thing for Luka. Luka's strong. He's 6'8", 230. You can't stop that. You just you can't stop that with the skill. It's incredible to watch. I mean, he's just not playing any games. This guy's been a professional basketball player for 12 years. I mean, they said he started playing professional basketball at 13. He's 25. So he was way ahead of the curve. And then when he came into the NBA, he was already, it looked like he was a pro. It didn't really look like it was his rookie year. It looked like he had already been playing for multiple years, and he just continued to get better, got stronger. His IQ is obviously going to continue to rise as he's gains more experience into the game. 25 years old. If he wins a championship, him and Jokic are the two best players in the world, easily. I mean, and a lot of people will go with Luka. I actually, you could ask a lot of my friends. I said I picked Luka to win MVP. I just felt like he was going to go crazy, and he just 32, 9-9, winning the Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP award. Unstoppable. They have no answer for him. And then for Kyrie Irving, I'm just so happy for him. It's a great story. Watching, I saw a video of them. They had like a video of them taking pictures, but it was a video of them, like people taking pictures of them. And Kyrie was holding the trophy, and I think Luka was holding the Magic Johnson trophy. Yeah, it was just great to see. It was great to see because I think a lot of people expected the worst from this duo, and for the fact that for them in their second year to be going to the NBA Finals I think it's beautiful to watch. And especially it's eliminating the terrible narratives that was created about Kyrie and everything that transpired a couple years ago. It was just unfortunate. People were saying things. Now people are coming out apologizing. Now, this is what happens when you win. When you start winning games, people sing a different tune. For me, like for here on MNC, we're always going to keep it consistent. Whether these guys went, like, it's just, if we have something we need to say, we're going to say it. If our minds are going to be changed on something, we come here with facts. That's how we present it to the table, hands down. So it was a wild time. It was those few years, and he was getting heavily criticized. And I just think he was just going through life. And when he's going through life at his position, it's going to be magnified by strangers and a whole bunch of people that don't know you, and on a whole bunch of different platforms where everybody has something to say. So it was just an unfortunate situation. A lot of the stuff got blown out of proportion. There's a lot of hypocrisy in that situation coming from the people that tried to attack Kyrie. Like, you want to attack him for one situation, but you don't hold other people accountable in higher positions that do crazier things. It's just like, where's the consistency in your philosophy and your thought process? So I never really bought into the bash Kyrie during that time. And you got to just look at the facts. You got to look at it for what it is. You got to look at each side, take information, and just come up with your own perspective. And I just never aligned with what the people was on TV was saying about him. It was just it never sat right with me. So I'm glad that he's grown, he's matured as a human being, of course, as a player. And now he's back in the NBA Finals. I think it's beautiful. It makes it even better story who he's going up against. But Mark Cuban, back again, and found a gold mine. He had Dirk, and now you get Luka Doncic in 2018, and you just keep it rocking. I think for him, it's learning what he did wrong during his time with Dirk. I mean, there should have been some time. There should have been moments and years, seasons where he should have been more aggressive in getting guys around Dirk. Dirk should have had more championships than just one championship. I mean, with his talent, what he was able to do. I mean, yes, he took Dallas to two finals and won one, but he should have won many more championships. And I know they ran into some excellent teams, Spurs, those Laker teams, Phoenix a couple times, but he should have been more aggressive. And I think now You had Luka. There were some questions early on, like especially after the Brunson trade, what was going on. They made a move. Nico Harrison, his staff, those guys. They bring in Kyrie, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's been a perfect relationship. It's been going really well. They missed the playoffs last year. They got the lottery pick. People have some questions with their methods, but it happened for them. They got Lively. He's going to be an excellent player, and he's going to continue to grow. He's a rookie. In complement with those two special offensive players that they have, it's going to be great. You got to give Mark Cuban a lot of credit. And I say congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks. They did a great job this season. They didn't stay complacent. They had a good team early in the beginning of the season. It was like, let's continue to get better. Brought in PJ Washington, who's been amazing in this playoff run, knocking down big shots, understanding his role. I need to knock down shots, play defense. I can put the ball on the floor a little bit here and there. But the first two things are the main thing I need to do: to stay on the court, to get my minutes, and to ultimately, make money and change your life forever if he's able to do that. And that's what he's done in this playoffs. He's a young player. He's going to continue to grow. Gafford, two guys coming from teams that were not winning at all, weren't doing any type of winning. And now they come into a winning situation. Now they're helping the team that hadn't gone to the finals in 13 years get back to the finals. It's a lot of great stories within the team that you could talk about and root to this position that the Dallas Mavericks put themselves in. So it's great. It's great for Gafford, Washington, all these players. Jaden Hardy came in there. Sometimes he wouldn't play. And anytime his number was called, he'd come in and make big plays, stepped up in any of the series. Anytime he came in the game, he made things happen, knocked down shots. And I think Kyrie's leadership plays a big factor into that. A lot of these guys watched Kyrie growing up. When Kyrie was dominating in 2016 with the Cleveland Cavaliers, that was 8 years ago. A lot of these guys were in high school during that time. Some of these guys were in grade school during that time. So they were watching Kyrie, and Kyrie was like 23, 24 years old. So that, so now you're on a team with him, you want to know, the things that got him successful. And if you implement those things and learn from him and watch him, you're going to grow as well. And I think, watching Hardy play whenever he's on the court, he makes big plays. It just goes to show their depth on that team. So it's just, it was time. It was time. This is a lot of parity in the NBA. It's a lot of parity in the NBA. I don't think we're going to see we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to just say that definitively because you don't know. We don't know. But as it stands today, this is a situation where we might see guys get one, get another one here and there. But are we going to see a run that like LeBron went on? 8 straight finals, winning 4. Are we going to see something like that? I'm not sure. I mean, just the talent level in the game today on all of these teams, anyone could get beat, clearly. So if someone is able to do that and able to go on that type of run similar to LeBron in this type of era, I mean, there will definitely be questions for sure in the all-time status. And Luka's 4 wins away from being a factor into that, and so is Jason Tatum as well. So it's going to be a fun NBA Finals. I can't wait to see it. I just want to preview it just a little bit. Just have a couple points. Get that on silent. Just got a couple points about the finals. I don't want to go into depth too much. I obviously want to wait for Michael on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Look out for us, guys. We're going to go more into depth about what we saw last night, that series overall, and, of course, the NBA Finals coming up next week. But some little things that I've seen from both teams in the conference finals and obviously in the rounds before. I look at the Mavericks. Gafford and Lively II. They're to me, they're the X factors in the series. If they're able to continue to put pressure on the paint like they've been putting pressure on the paint this whole entire playoff run with lobs, sometimes putting the ball on the floor a little bit, as I said earlier, on the short roll. If they're able to do things like that, continuously get Porzingis in foul trouble, get Horford in foul trouble, now the Celtics become a smaller team. So even though, yes, they do have excellent perimeter defenders, Kyrie and Luka still put a lot of pressure on those guys, and they're going to get tired, and you still need someone on the back end to help you if times you do get beat. So if you're losing your guys you're losing your front court players because Gafford and Lively II are crashing the glass, getting offensive rebounds, getting you out of position to where you're getting, bad fouls, and now you have 2 fouls where you really shouldn't have any fouls at all. That's going to favor Dallas. And I think Dallas, they need to capitalize on that. They need to capitalize on their 2 athletic bigs. That's something that Miles Turner did in spurts in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I feel like he didn't do enough. He should have been averaging a double-double to me, at least 13 rebounds. Should be no reason why Al Horford is outplaying you. You're a young player, well into your career, almost at the prime of your career. You should be dominating in that series in the paint. You shouldn't just be standing at the 3-point line. So I look at Gafford and Lively. I think they need to do what the Pacers didn't do and really put pressure on the paint and change the game from a rebounded perspective, getting second chance points, because when the game gets close, those are the things that are going to factor into whether or not you win the game. So that's how you develop good habits. I think we'll see that in the series from both teams, because there's a lot at stake for both organizations at this stage. So for the Celtics, they're just tough. They're tough to stop. It's going to be the best defensive backcourt in the NBA versus the best offensive backcourt in the NBA. It's going to be a fun battle, a fun chess match. But what makes the Celtics so dangerous is they also have the best defensive wing duo in the NBA in Tatum and Brown. Both of those guys play defense. Celtics been a top defense in this year, for the entirety of the season. So you got at the point of the attack, 2 second-team all-defensive players this year, and then in the mid-level, you got Tatum and Brown. And then when Porzingis is healthy, since he's been in the league, he's been one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. So that's what makes them great, when he's active, when he's on. So it's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a battle. But the Mavericks have been playing defense as well. Luka and Kyrie at the point of attack, playing great defense. Then you have PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. have been excellent defensively as well. You got to give PJ Washington credit for how he played on Karl Anthony Towns in the Western Conference Finals. You have to. You could say Cat struggled, and yes, he did struggle, but who was guarding him? It's not like he was being guarded by air and he was just missing shots. Good defense was being played. You got to give PJ Washington credit for that. So you have him and Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. also did a really good job on Anthony Edwards, for sure. Anthony Edwards, he picked it up towards the end of the series, but the first couple games, his shooting clips weren't efficient. So they have solid to really good. They have really good wing defenders as well. And then on the back end, you either have Gafford or Lively II. So you have 2 guys, one starting, one coming off the bench, that brings you the same type of impact as a defensive anchor. Great matchup. I'd be shocked if this series doesn't go 7 games. I'd be shocked if the series doesn't go 7 games. Now, I think the games are going to be close. And who's the better duo? Let's rank the players again. What Brown and Tatum did in the Eastern Conference Finals, you could say you could create whatever narrative you could say it was an easy route, whatever. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They won every series convincingly. So yes, the games were close. The games were close, but they still ended up winning the games. So it was never a close series because they were able to close within those games. That goes to show how great they were. They both averaged, one averaged 30, the other averaged like 28, 29. Incredible. Incredible. It's a tough discussion which duo you want to take. Me personally, if you rank the players, because how Kyrie takes his game to the next level in the playoffs, and he already has a championship. He's the only one out of the four that has a championship. Whereas what Brown did and what Tatum is able to do, and what they've done and early in their careers, going to their third straight Eastern Conference Finals, going to the second NBA Finals in 3 years. You could go Kyrie just because of what we've seen him do at the highest level with everything on the line, all the chips in the middle of the table. It's tough. It's very tough. It's very tough. So, and I think Luka, again, as I said, I think he's built for this. He's built for this. So who's the best player in the series? I believe it's Luka Doncic. When you say second best in the series, a lot of people could say Kyrie. A lot of people would say Kyrie. I believe Kyrie is the second best player in the series. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Just because, again, what he's done in the NBA Finals, Tatum and Brown are excellent, and we're splitting hairs. It's very close, but I just can't. That shot. I mean, he's back in this situation again with the player that has similar traits to LeBron and all other all-time greats, and he has a teammate like that again. And he went up against an all-time great team in the 73-9 2016 Golden State Warriors. Back against the wall, down 1-3, comeback, game 7, had a 40-point game en route to that game 7 game. 40-40. I think we're going to see a 40-40. I think we're going to see a 40-40 between Doncic and Irving in the finals too. We could see it from Tatum and Brown too. Very possible. Very possible. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting NBA Finals we've seen in a very long time. I believe it'll live up to the hype because of all the stars, the defense, this is going to be the storylines. Kyrie playing in Boston, how crazy would that be? Kyrie breaks the heart of Celtic fans as they're as Tatum and Brown, two of his former teammates, trying to win a championship. He stops that again. He stops them from getting from them winning the championship for a second time, and they go 0-2 in the finals. And Kyrie was one of those guys that stopped them. It's big. That's a big storyline. Then you have Porzingis and Luka, former teammates. Situation there in Dallas wasn't necessarily the best. Porzingis really didn't like how he was being used in the offense. That was when Rick Carlisle was there. And the situation, it just didn't work out. Porzingis also wasn't able to stay healthy. And those were the moments and those were the narratives being created. Can anyone play with Luka? Is Luka a guy that people want to play with? We see now that obviously it's clipped for those narratives, but that was the time. We're going to see them go at it. And Luka's a dog. There's no other way around it. I mean, he has that mentality and he thinks about those things, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see it. This NBA Finals next week. As I said, I can't wait to see what Michael's going to take. I'll give my prediction on Sunday. Like I said, it's definitely going 7 games. It's definitely going 7 games. And I mean, I don't remember the last time we've seen a finals this even, like with both teams. This is going to be great. It's going to be an all-timer for sure. Thinking about some NBA Finals that were my favorite, of course, I brought up to 2016, the Cavs. 2013 Heat, Ray Allen against the Spurs. You just those are series, those are NBA Finals. You just remember where you were. As soon as you bring it up, you remember exactly where you were, what you were doing. And I believe this series right here will be one of those as well. But all right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on X/Twitter. Look out for Michael and I, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.